Hola a todos, soy Victoria y ahora aprendiendo español. So, a lot has happened since the last time that I've been here on this channel. So, number one, I went to Chicago in October and something happened. I was kind of down and out on my Spanish learning journey, started working, stopped a job, started a job, started working a lot. And I just didn't make the time. I'm not going to say I didn't have the time, but I didn't make the time to learn Spanish. What happened was on my way to Chicago, there was a Spanish couple sitting next to me, and they were trying to figure out if they were at the right gate. Me, my little Spanish ringers going off, I know Spanish. I try to help them to tell them, that one of the gates was changed, and where were they going exactly. In me trying to help them, the wife turns to her husband, because at the time I was talking to her husband, she turns to her husband and she says, ella no entiendes español. Why did she say that? That really knife to the chest, made me feel a certain type of way. And when I went to Chicago, came back home, and I was like, I gotta get back on the Spanish bandwagon. I thought, I stopped motivation. I stopped being motivated to learn Spanish. Maybe I need to get involved in something to learn. Went on meetup.com, tried to find a salsa dancing class or a Spanish cooking or meetup, something to do with something Spanish that would keep me interested in the language so I wouldn't fall off like I did before. Found a intercambio de idiomas group, joined it. I saw they were having a meetup, went to the meetup. My Spanish was very broken. It wasn't like it was before, as fluid, because it had been so long since I had been practicing, and the words just weren't coming together. The sentences weren't coming together how they were supposed to. I felt a little embarrassed, but I wasn't the only one who is learning. There were many different levels of people on their learning journey. It turns out that the group was led by Mike Ben, who's here on YouTube, and also really awesome and amazing. I had watched his journey prior to going to the group. I was just looking for something, someone, some group to help me on this Spanish learning journey, and it just so happened that it was him. So I went to the group, and that motivated me. That kickstarted me. Even hearing some of the stories about some people in that group who had learned Spanish just through the pandemic, and hearing them speak and how well they spoke, that was just awesome and amazing to hear. Motivated me, lit a fire behind me. It was kind of up and down, since then, but I haven't really fell off. And I want to say that was November. My first meetup with them was in November. In the last meetup, I was talking to Mike, and I told him that I was going to try out one of the tutors, Liliana. She's really awesome, really amazing. I met with her once to twice a week all of December, but that was something to keep me accountable to learning the language. But it was kind of hard because my work schedule is really crazy, and I think that I need to do some work on my own and then go back to going to a tutor once a week when my schedule permits. I really kind of need a Saturday, but I didn't see any Saturdays available. So the other thing I did was start reading more in Spanish, because words kind of stick with you more. I got this book by Ollie Richards. He's also here on YouTube, and I saw him and Steve Kaufman talk about how reading can help improve your Spanish. So on my lunch breaks, this is what I do. Every morning, cada día, I watch Caso Cerrado. And it's also another show that I watch on Peacock called Betty in New York. Or it reminds you of Betty La Fea or Ugly Betty. And I'm really enjoying watching, and I enjoy watching Caso Cerrado. I enjoy watching Betty in New York, in La Nueva York, or whatever. But yes, still I feel that my Spanish is broken, but I'm getting through it. And the one thing that I'm thinking is like, do I know Spanish? Because I recently went to Mexico, to Cancun. Shout out to the Mexicanos. I love y'all. Like, they were so sweet, so nice. But in my time there, I realized like I'm speaking Spanish not without interruption, but I'm understanding them, they're understanding me. Like, I'm able to hold conversations. I know my Spanish is very broken, but we're able to understand each other and have conversations. Like, I recorded a little bit of my car ride from the hotel back to the airport to come back to Atlanta. And that whole car ride, me and Buddy was chopping it up. And at the end of the conversation, I didn't even realize he didn't know any English. This happens to me a lot. Like, I'll have conversations with people who know no English, and then I ask them like, ¿entiendes? Or ¿hablas inglés? And they're like, no, not really. So I'm like, do I know Spanish? Like, the thing is, I can always understand, but I'm learning how to speak back in Spanish. That is something that I'm working on, because I can understand, but then when I talk back, I always try to talk back in English or Spanglish. That's my favorite language. So now it's like I want to speak back more fluidly in Spanish. That is the thing that I'm working on. I'm reading books now, watching Caso Cerrado cada día. I'm watching Betty in New York on Peacock. I love that. It's a really, like, it's a cute show. I'm enjoying it, and I'm hoping that this will help me improve. I know I need to talk to people. It's just that my schedule, like the classes, is like on an organized schedule, and I need the weekend. So maybe I'll get back on HelloTalk and talk to people in other countries in Spanish, like get on the voice recorder and just talk back and forth in Spanish or English, like do a intercambio of languages. But this journey is something else. Like, sometimes I question myself, like, do I know? And then sometimes people question me because they speak to me in Spanish and I try to speak back to them in English. So then they think that I don't know Spanish, but it's like, I know what you're saying. I'm just having a hard time responding. So, and then they'll start translating stuff, and I'm like, I know what that means. You don't have to translate like I do. I know what that means. So I don't know. This is where I'm at on my journey. I'm praying that within the next few months it gets better. I have hope because, like I said, I went to Mexico, and not even just when I was in Mexico, but here in Atlanta, sometimes when I find people who don't speak any English, I'm able to carry long conversations out in Spanish. I know it's chopped up. I know I'm not conjugating. I know I'm using the wrong forms of feminine and masculine, but we're having a conversation in my broken Spanish. So yes, hopefully within the next few months, hopefully I'll come back in 3 months and I'll be speaking more fluently, and I can record that journey here, because I feel like I'm almost there. Like, I'm right at the tip, but maybe reading, listening more, and talking more will help me. So yeah, eso es todo. Adios. ¿De dónde eres? Aquí.
De aquí, Cancún.
¿De aquí? ¿Cancún? Oh, ¿tus padres?
¿También?
También Cancún.
Sí.
Nice.
Sí. ¿Y ustedes?
Nací en Miami, pero ahora vivo en Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
¿Familiar? Atlanta.
Ok, muy bien.
¿Las
dos?
Ya, dos. Mi amiga de secundario.
Ok, muy bien. Perfecto. Muy bien.
Ya, mi amiga de secundario.
Okay.
Y universidad también. Y ahora nosotros estamos en Atlanta.
Okay. Muy bien.
Bien, mi palabras malo. Malo porque en Atlanta no mucha gente hablan español.
in particular areas o lugares, markets or like restaurantes,
Okay.
mucha gente están allí de México también.
Okay, muy bien.
Pero en Miami no necesitan inglés, nada.
Ah, ¿verdad?
Nada inglés. Like, en un lugar en Miami, Hialeah, todos cubanos o latinoamericanos, el supermercados, oficinas, todo, galerías, todo en español, no necesita ya aquí.
Yo vivo en Cancún
¿Ya?
y tengo 3 años que no voy a la playa.
¿No? ¿Por qué?
No sé.
No, do you like it?
No me gusta.
No me gusta. Me gusta en Miami, la playa con mi familia o mis amigos, todo weekend, semana,
Ok.
todo semana.
Toda la semana.
Yeah, sábado con mi mamá y mis sobrinos o why can't I find these words? Primos, yeah.
Muy bien.
Todo sábado.
Ok. No, está muy bien.
¿Qué typical lugares o tú gustas?
¿Me gustan?
Yeah.
¿De aquí de Cancún?
Or anywhere.
Like
To go to con familia o
por
para
ejemplo,
ti,
ok,
amigos.
por ejemplo, al cine con mi familia. El cine sí.
Yeah.
Sí, me gusta la playa, pero por el trabajo no puedo.
Yeah.
Pues ir a comer.
Yeah,
Eso sí
también.
me gusta mucho. Ir a comer tacos.
Yeah, tacos. Oh, we had the
pizza.
best tacos.
Pizza.
Yeah.
Me gusta mucho Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
Me encanta.
Pizza,
sí.
yeah,
O
también.
Papa John's.
Yeah, Papa John's también.
Domino's.
It's okay.
Más o menos.
Sometimes.
Little Caesar. También,
Yeah.
Bueno. Me gusta ir a caminar
Yeah.
a caminar a ver las tiendas.
Yeah.
Eso.
Visitar otras partes de México o no?
No, casi no.
No.
No hemos ido. Bueno, yo sí, pero mi familia no.
No, okay.
Sí.
¿Dónde?
Por ejemplo, Guanajuato, México.
La Isla Mujeres.
Oh, no, Isla Mujeres no he ido, pero sí está muy bonito.
Yeah,
Quiero ir.
Yeah, una mujer en el hotel de Isla Mujeres.
Isla
Yeah,
Mujeres.
Isla Mujeres, yeah. Pero no tiempo ahora.
Oh, ok.
Pero porque la mujer said it, like I was like, oh, I'll go next time.
Ajá.
Next time.
No.
Yeah.
Sí, está muy bonito Isla Mujeres.
Yeah.
El Holbox, súper bonito también.
Yeah.
Holbox. ¿Nunca has ido a Holbox?
Holbox.
Está muy bonito.